Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television in Alabama, Charter 182. That's Charter Communications Spectrum, and always glad to be with you there. And you can also find us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast now on thenewscasters.com and all the social media sites as well. Continue sending email. I love hearing from you. You can send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. I have one of my very best friends with me right now. Her name is DeJoly. She's an author, a speaker, and she does all kinds of great things. Workshops, everything available to help you out in life. How big is your business card, by the way? It must be a big one. Is it like...
No, it's normal size.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about a few things, and I know we get a lot of responses. And there seems to be a lot of, what do I do to be healthy? I get those all the time. And, we have gardening segments and things here as well. And we also talk about, human behavior, how to get along with your fellow person and those kinds of things as well. But what about health? Because a lot of folks are worried about their water supply right now.
Well, there are filters for water supply, but it's very important for us to get at least long time ago, decades ago, my chiropractor told me half your body weight in ounces of water a day. Mm-hmm. And they've increased that a little bit, but in general, that's the rule for how much hydration you need and water, which could be coffee, tea, that kind of thing, but most of it to be water. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do need to be hydrated at all times because that plays a function in whether our brain works well. It tells us whether our skin is going to be healthy. That's our largest gland on our body, and that is the covering. And if we don't keep our skin healthy, then the rest of us is obviously going to be suffering inside, because it's kind of like a litmus test to know whether, if your skin isn't healthy, then something isn't going on inside, something isn't right inside.
Well, one time you told me about a little way to find out whether you're hydrated enough or not. And so I put my hand up like this, and then you said just kind of stretch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right there. If it goes right back in, you're okay.
That's right.
I must be, because it went right back in. But now when you taught me that little thing, you remember how it almost seemed like that little lump of skin stayed?
It stood up, yes.
So yes. You need more water.
Well, it was kind of hard on you there, but yeah, you do need more water, because that is really how you test it, just to, especially on your skin, because that's the loosest place. If it stands up, you are very dehydrated. So you need to put some water, and you don't want to drink, half a gallon at a time. You want to take it at a large enough rate that you don't skimp. Don't skimp. Don't let the day pass with hardly any water, and then at the end of the day, drink a half gallon.
Then you'll be all through the night going to the restroom.
Yeah, that's right. Then you'll be sitting in the bathroom all night. Yes, but that's a good thing to do, is keep yourself hydrated.
Oh yeah, that's really important. Probably much more than food. Well, your body can actually do without food longer than it can do without water.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of it too, do you think, depends on where you live, because you and I are living in the South, and it gets extremely humid and hot in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a perfect example of why you need to stay hydrated, because even though it feels like our body is wet on the outside because of humidity, that sun and all of that you're putting out that wetness too. You're sweating basically.
Mhm.
So what you want to do is continually put in that healthy water. I use a pure filter because it also takes out the fluoride in the water. So it's kind of like, I mean, I would love to be able to just say I have wonderful water here, and I think I probably do. But on the other hand, just to be sure, I didn't want to have any fluoride going into my body, so I got a pure filter, and that's what I drink. Of course, the problem is unless you have a whole house filter, you're going to be showering in it, so taking a bath in it. So you're still getting fluoride, but you're not drinking it to put it inside your body at the moment. So.
We've got the water filter through Ultra, I'm telling you, I'm loving it. I've noticed a difference in my skin and in my hair too, and that's what got me a little concerned because I'm thinking, and when we lived in Alabama, the same thing. My hair, even though I would just freshly wash it, it always felt like something was in it, and I would like wash it, 2 or 3 washings, at a time when I would wash my hair, and it still felt like there was some kind of residue in it, and then I started using vinegar, just white vinegar, and that helped. But now that we've got this filter system, I'm loving it. I mean, my hair finally feels like there's not something in it. It almost felt sticky or something. I don't know how to explain it, but I had no life in my hair whatsoever. It was almost like straw. So,
well, sometimes that happens because the water that you get doesn't necessarily mean, they give us a report, I think it's quarterly, of what the water contains and all of that. And it's good to read that if you can understand it. But, a lot of people don't live in homes where they get that kind of a report. They may live in an apartment or somewhere else, like on a farm, and they don't get that kind of report. They may have well water or whatever. But it's good to keep up on what's actually in the water because it can leave residue on not just on your hair, but all over your body. So you have to be aware because sometimes I remember being told that if you get it in your eyes, it's very possible that you could get an infection in your eyes. And I was like, well, why would that be if it's clean water, But yeah, you have to be careful because, your eyelashes and your eyebrows and all of that retain whatever's in the water. It's kind of like another filter. And you have to just be careful about, what's in your water.
What I'm just now thinking about, because when I would wash my face, some of the water would get in my eyes and it would burn my eyes. And now that we have this water filter system, I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
I can actually, it can get in my eyes and not bother me anymore. I didn't think about that until you just said something.
Yeah. I did that one time thinking, it's not going to hurt my eyes, but boy, did it.
Yeah. Like crazy. Yeah. And another thing is washing our foods. We talk about don't go to a grocery store and buy your fruits and stuff like that, unless you're going to peel like an apple or whatever, because they put something on it, it's almost like a wax of some sort, and it's not natural. That's why I'd rather, if I'm not going to raise it, like we don't have an apple tree here that's bearing yet. We just planted it last year. So I go to the farmer's market and get my stuff. And there's a difference in the apples. If you go to if it's a true farmer and he's really organic or she is really organic, there is a huge difference. You can rub the apple, from one that you buy in the grocery store in most cases, and it's almost like a wax on it.
Yeah, well, there is a wax on it, and there are chemicals that they spray on it. Unless you get an organic apple, you're not going to get the apple only. You're going to get all of that other stuff that's piled on top. And for me, I use a product that's organic, and it's called Fit, and you spray it on your fruit, whatever it is, and you I like to roll an apple around in my hand, and then once it feels kind of like it's soap, but it's not really soap, but it is for vegetables and fruits. And so I do that and feel like you can actually touch the apple and it's not got that film on it. But in general, I eat organic, so I don't do a lot of that. So.
Well, I know an organic farmer here, and he said, well, you'll notice I don't have the most beautiful fruit.
No, that's right.
And I said, well, it's because you're organic. And he said, well, I'm glad you caught on to that, because he said, some people will say, well, I don't want that. It doesn't look like the grocery store ones. Mm-hmm. And he'll try to make a point to him. Well, yeah, it doesn't look like a grocery store ones because I don't use hormones or anything like that. It's all organic,
That's right.
But they taste better. And it feels like they're more tart.
Yes, they are. And they're, even the yellow delicious apples are more tart, more substantive. They are not mushy. I'm one of those people who, I'm not a really delicious kind of gal. I like the crispy, tart, green apples, can't remember the name of it right now. Anyway, the crispy ones. And they do taste better. Around here, we have several apple orchards where we can get organic apples, and they're just a whole lot better than the ones you buy in the store.
Well, if you're looking for pretty fruit and pretty vegetables, you're probably not going to find them if they're all natural. And,
No.
And I could care less what it looks like. And as a matter of fact, this guy sometimes will let me know when he has apples that are kind of turning, maybe have a few bruises on them, been there a little while. And so I've been able to get a good price on those. But what I do with them, first of all, my chickens think they've died and went to heaven. They love what's left over from what I use. But there's not
those chickens.
My chickens are spoiled rotten. So, but that may be why they produce a lot of eggs. They were laying eggs all winter.
Wow.
And which is kind of unusual, but now we're organic all the way. And I think that makes a lot of difference into the way your chickens lay eggs. But because I use the apple peel, I don't want to use apple peel from a bought apple at a grocery store. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm making good quality vinegar there. So I love to buy his apples and just use the peeling because I get a good rate, good discount rate. And in some of the dishes, he has apples. He has so many different varieties of those that, I make jam. You can make apple butter. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do. But I like to actually buy mine. And we're eating on apples all through the year, because I'll put them in the dehydrator, or you can just put them out in the sun if you're not afraid bird poops are going to fly over. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I do dehydrate mine, but I also, one of my favorite things to do is make applesauce, and that's one of my go-tos for like a dessert, because I use the cinnamon in it and make it nice and spicy. So I love to make applesauce that way.
Oh, and that cinnamon is like top of the world medicinal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Me.
Yeah, I know you and I are on the same wave here. So now let me ask you about cinnamon, because there's an argument about that. If you buy cinnamon that's already ground, it's already powdered, is it organic? Because you know how I am. I even buy green coffee beans. I don't trust that. So I buy organic green coffee beans and I roast them myself, and I've got a Vitamix. So I ground them with that Vitamix. And there's a difference in the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the same with cinnamon sticks? Would it be better to buy cinnamon sticks and grind them up, or are you okay with powdered cinnamon?
Well, I would say that powdered is better than nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And for most people, they can't do what you do. But I have cinnamon sticks that I can put in my, it's not called a Vitamix, but it's very similar to it. It's called a balm. And I put it in that. But on the other hand, if I'm in a hurry, I'm going to use powdered, but I get Ceylon cinnamon, which is probably the highest quality, organic, and I like it. It's easy and I like it. But if you can't get that, cinnamon of any kind is better than none.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So many things that happen. Wanted to mention to you, I've told you before that if there's only one herb I could ever have, you know what that one is.
Ginger.
And I love my ginger. So I've been on a little bit of an experiment, and because I've noticed a difference in my asthma. And so I told Phyllis I'm going to lay off of ginger for just a few days and see what happens. I'm going to quickly get back on it again, by the way.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I don't want to do away with that. But that has saved me from having to live off of a breathing machine. Mm-hmm. And I like the taste of it. I mean, I just love cinnamon and put the ginger root with it. real good if you want to also make some kind of a, like a tincture with it is good too.
Yeah.
I'm doing tinctures for everything. So let me ask you about your tinctures.
Oh.
So what I like to do, now you can use a coffee grinder. You don't have to have a Vitamix. Coffee grinder does just as well, and it's just that I do a lot of it, So Phil bought me a Vitamix at a very good price, by the way. There's no way I'm going to pay $1,000 for that, for a blender. But anyway, it was around $200 for Mother's Day. And it's new, but he just happened to find it. So that was a good deal. But what I'm doing with my tinctures now, I'm powdering everything. Like my comfrey roots and those kinds of things. I had been just, cutting them up in pieces and comfrey leaves, what have you. But I've noticed when I dry it and then I powder it, it seems like it's a little stronger. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I don't know why it would be stronger.
I feel like that you're getting more of the qualities out of the root. I like the root. And making salves and stuff like that with it. And it just seems to be a little bit better. But I've noticed that my salves are lasting longer because I used to buy comfrey, from Amazon or whatever. I've noticed I raise my own. And by the way, when you plant a comfrey plant, make sure that's where you want it because you'll never get rid of it.
I know.
You get forever and ever, and it's still going to be there. It'll come up. You'll think, I got rid of it this time. And then here it goes, spring. It comes right up out of that root again.
Yeah.
But I guess if I could only have one, it would probably be the comfrey root. But ginger root is
how would the powder do in a tincture? Would you have to let it settle and then just take the tincture off the top, or how do you do that? Because you have to strain out.
I get a couple of cheesecloths and put it together, very fine cheesecloths. Okay. And I let it set for hours until it just all drains out. But you can also use that, the residue, the powder, whatever is left over, you can use that in skincare. Like if you want to do a facial or something like that, put it on there because it still has medicinal qualities, even though it's been dried and even though it's been sitting in a tincture. But tinctures are forever. I don't know how to say that close enough. Let's go into a commercial break. You know how I am with you. I've let it go too long. So let's go to a break. We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Good afternoon, sunshine. Your Realtor Moment is brought to you by Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams of Greenwood, helping families buy and sell with confidence right here in the Lakelands. If you're thinking about selling, don't automatically start renovating. Many sellers overspend on updates buyers don't even value. So before you touch a thing, talk with your local market expert who knows exactly what buyers are looking for right now. Jenny can help you price it, prep it smart, and market it professionally across multiple platforms. For a free consultation, call Jenny Ferguson today and let your next move be your best move. Thank you so much for watching your Realtor Moment, brought to you by Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams of Greenwood, helping families buy and sell with confidence right here in the Lakelands. Have a super duper awesome blessed day.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon. We are back from the commercial break. Wanted to thank all of our new sponsors. Got a lot of them. Appreciate the trust that you give in us. I wanted to thank Lowe's because we're starting some gardening. Lost my train of thought. We're starting some shows with gardening, and so we're going to pick up where we left off some. Phil, pay close attention there and kind of blurt that out. So anyway, I'm really tickled about Lowe's being one of our sponsors, and because they've supplied us with so much of the soil that we need. And that's another thing. It's the reason we have we do the raised garden beds. We did this in Alabama as well, but in Alabama, rock. Phil used to say, why do they call this Sand Mountain? It should be Rock Mountain. You heard right. We have rocks like huge when we live in there.
That's right.
There was just no way I could have a garden, and planting trees was next to impossible. You would hit a bedrock, it's just terrible. But here is better, but still very sandy soil. So I found myself amending the soil so much last year. So we decided to go back to the raised garden beds. And I'm going to tell you what, I am very thrilled. Amazon is another new sponsor. And so I got some really good deals on the garden beds. And you couldn't build them for the amount that I got them, but they are very good quality. They're made out of a metal and easy to put together. Now, I can assist Phil better than I can put them together, but he can put them together like in no time. But they're easy to put together. I could do it with some time. It just takes me a little bit longer. And so what we've been doing is making our own little compost pile at the bottom of that. They're 8 foot wide and 2 feet tall, and then 4 feet wide again. And so there's plenty of room down there. So what we've been doing is collecting pine cones. We're on 8 acres out here and a lot of pine trees. And so the pine cones kind of work as a sponge. So what we've done is put cardboard down at the very bottom, and then we put the pine cones on top of that, just a layer. simple layer. And then we've put all kinds of other things, organics and, cardboard that we've been like letting wilt out in the rain all winter. And it's made quite a bit of compost. We've also put some pine needles in there. But what I love about this whole idea, I'm not using that much of the soil, a good 1.5 feet of it. But down in the bottom, that's going to be an awesome garden next year. All those nutrients. And by the way, there were nice little worms. I saw worms from the compost pile that we started last year.
Very nice.
That's good news.
Yes, my compost pile is also really wormy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you say it, but I love it when they, because, and the thing about it is when I put stuff in it, it's mostly organic. And so I get those things growing up out of my compost pile, and I almost hate to use the pile because I want that to grow, So yeah, I've had everything from squash to tomatoes to onions and potatoes coming out of my compost pile. So, but I was wondering about using pine cones and pine needles because they're kind of acidic. It's hard to grow things around pine. So I'm just wondering how that works for you.
Oh, it's working great. And like last year, the strawberries, we transported some strawberries which is hard to do now because they're picky and they don't want to be uprooted, and since
right.
but they came back up again this year. But what we did is we put pine needles all over those for the wintertime. And that helped them. I mean, it really did. I almost thought
That's
I was maybe smothering them, and I was afraid of that. And I thought, well, if it's got to, I had to try these little things out to see if they work. And I thought, well, if it does, I'll just get some more. And so it was a nice surprise. You lift it up, and those strawberry plants the leaves are as green as they can be.
Wow, that's nice. Very nice.
But the pine needles do decompose. It takes longer. But my reasoning for doing this is I wanted to fill up not just the soil that Walmart let me have. That Lowe's let me have. So I wanted to have at least 1/2 foot of it so that it could settle. It's just going to settle. I had to put more things in there next year. Mm-hmm. But it kind of creates a nice compost pile underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And
I use the lasagna. I call it the lasagna method. You can use everything from newspaper because that's a kind of paper that just kind of disintegrates and rots really quickly, and just vegetables, paper, anything there, and I just layer, and then always have that paper in between the layers, and then it just settles and but that's when you actually, like you, put your garden together. If I'm doing a compost, I have a shredder right here beside my desk, and so I shred paper and I put it in there as well. And that really does change the compost to more airy. It rots very quickly, it composts very quickly, and makes it a little airy, which is nice. But I do have worms as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they love that. And I think you told me one time, when it comes to paper, newspapers and that kind of thing, don't put anything with color. And also, if it's slick, if the paper, like some cell circulars, if they're slick, don't put those in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember what you teach me.
I'm surprised. Sometimes I think nobody hears me.
Are you kidding me? You're my go-to.
Well, I don't know everything about everything, so.
Yeah, you know a lot. DeJoly, we're going to have to call it a day in about 1.5 minutes left. How can folks get in contact with you, and how can they come to you for coaching?
Well, that's absolutely wonderful that you're asking me, because I actually this afternoon I have a workshop to do. But you can find me on Facebook, DeJoly LaBrier, Facebook, and Instagram and LinkedIn. But also you can reach me at DeJolyLaBrier@gmail.com. And come to any of my workshops. And I'm very appreciative that you put that post up the other day for me about my work.
Oh, always. It's your treasure. I'll just say that. Guys,
you.
thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge. And, you can still find us on television and 2 different places now in Alabama, Channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com and all the social media sites and WZLA Country Radio Station Powerhouse right here in South Carolina. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.